What's up, y'all? We are back, episode 16 of the Out of the Park Baseball 24 series with the Minnesota Twins. And we are 78 games into the season. The Twins sit at 53 and 25. So we're 13 games up on the Tigers. Remember this time last year, we only up like 5 games maybe on our second place team, think the Guardians. But, the AL Central is kind of falling apart besides us. And, we've business as usual. Second in runs scored, second in runs against, and all the underlying metrics look pretty good on us too. Our bullpen has not been great. I guess we'll start there. So, Hernandez has been fine, not like not his best work, but I think something's going on with the R WAR calculation here because he's not having a great year, but he's not worth -1 R WAR. So, um, interesting there. I don't know if anyone's seen a bug like that, but overall, he's been fine, but not like the Hernandez we're used to. Noah Dean's been fine as well, giving up too many home runs, but still a solid option for the left side. Lando's been our best reliever by far. This is more of what I expected out of him, with these ratings and everything. So, good year from him. Chase Petty continues to be really solid for us. It's basically what he gives us every year. Luis Carrasco, one of our young arms. I guess he's not that young. He's 27, but a newer guy onto the scene. The results are good. The FIP's not as good. Giving up too many home runs, but he's been fine results wise. Carson Coleman's had he had like this big blow up game where you have 5 runs, whatever. But it's generally been pretty solid. Giving up a lot of home runs, but not walking anyone really, and that's good to see. Connor Phillips, a guy whose underlying metrics are probably a little bit better than his results so far, and he's been fine. And Teddy McGraw has been kind of a swingman for me. Started the year in AAA, and then called him up when I needed a starter. We'll go over that in a second, but was awesome when he was starting, and then I moved him to the bullpen, and he's been good in 2 games, but. Yeah, his appearance starting were really good, but he kind of got kicked to the pen. So Cole Henry was the one who got hurt. Went down with a herniated disc. The injuries kind of have stunted his last 2 seasons, but if he could stay off the injured list for the rest of the year, I'm sure he'll be in for a big payday. Just not from me, most likely. Yeah, no way. Let's see what he's actually asking. Okay, so he only wants a 1 year deal. That's interesting. I don't know if weird. Something's going on with the when he's a free agent and stuff. All right, interesting. Yeah, so this says he's an arbitrational possible free agent, whatever. He's gonna be a free agent, I believe, at the end of the year. Let's go to Nola. He continues to be the guy we signed up for, and so far so good on these next 2 years. He's only making 18 this year. Next 2 years are the big money ones, and we're gonna have to keep him healthy. But on pace to throw almost 230 innings. Definitely his best season yet. He's been fantastic for us. We've needed him. Collar's been fine. Definitely not as good as 2 years ago. Not even as good as last year. But he's been really good. Grayson Rodriguez, our big free agent signing. He's been about what I expected. Slightly above league average pitcher. Good metrics, and happy with his performance. And then Mike Wolf, who cracked the opening day roster, really surprisingly. I guess not really. He barely even played in the minors, but called him up, and he's been phenomenal for us. Definitely our second best pitcher, and he's been great. So there's the pitching. I don't know if we've. Besides the Henry thing, I don't think. I guess we lost Luis Joseph. That was, not nothing of a loss. Really good pitcher here, and we also lost Christopher Gonzalez, who we got in the Rays trade for Mason Hour. He got hurt in AAA, and he's not going to see the team for me this year, and a good chunk of next year too. So that sucks, but nothing really too huge with the injuries there. And the lineup's, been able to stay pretty healthy as well. So, DeMartini has led the way. After a pretty down year last year by his standards and, what I expect. coming out of the gate, mashing yet again, just like he did in 2027, and even better, I would say. Cut down the strikeout rate and increase the walk rate from last year. Yeah, he's been incredible, leading the way for the team. Palencia went down with a little injury. I think it was a strained oblique for 1 to 2 weeks. I put him on the IL. Just I don't want to. We'll be fine in the regular season, I'm pretty sure. So keep these guys. I don't want to have any like big injuries. So yeah, he just missed a week or so, and besides that, he's been his usual self. Striking out a little bit more, walking a little less. It's not great to see, but overall, really good year from him. Carlos Correa, he doesn't slow down really. Yeah, he's been insanely consistent for me. Let's see. So yeah, we started here, and he hasn't had a WRC plus below 120 in any of these seasons, and yeah, he's been able to stay healthy as well this year, so that's awesome. I'm keeping him in the lineup less. I'm having Shoemake play like once a week at shortstop. Just he's 34 years old. I don't want to lose my investment here, so I think playing less has been better for him. Yasser Mercedes, he was an absolute freak at the beginning of the year. He's cooled off a bit since, but he's still been amazing. On pace for 6 wins above replacement and 40 steals as well. Just amazing season for him. Brooks Lee, a big bounce back year, 123 WRC plus after being a about league average hitter last year, and his contract hasn't really changed. I'm really tempted because he is an important part of this team, and the infield range went up to 70, which is wild because I think he started the save probably at like a 60 or 55, and now he's like a really really serviceable shortstop. So this isn't an undoable deal. So what if I went down to like 24? Ton of opt outs here. He's got three opt outs basically. What if I got rid of this one? Pair of player options at the end. I don't really love that. But I guess if it got him on the team. All right, I don't want any bonuses or anything. I will give him an all-star bonus, but not that much. Wonder if he would do this. Okay, yeah, so he wants all those opt-outs and crap. I'm actually not opposed to it. We get him for at least 2 guaranteed years, which is good, and he gets the player options at the end. I think I would do this. So let me just make sure there's nothing like that I'm overlooking here. So this is 4 years. So it'd go up to 2023. And I guess we're going to lose DiMartini by that point. Collar will be gone. Yeah, this might not be doable. Because if I have to hand out some contracts or something, I don't know if Brooks Lee is the guy. Although he is, man. Okay, I'm going to come back to that a little bit later because not really the point of this segment. Emmanuel Rodriguez got off to an awesome start. He's still been really good, but yeah, big bounce back from, a good year last year, but not the Rodriguez we're used to. And staying healthy, which is awesome. Derek Mitchell has gotten a good amount of playing time. He's been playing all over the field. That's actually not true at all. He's mostly been in right field. I thought he was playing a lot more center and left, but yeah, he's been really good. Cut down the strikeout rate a little bit more this year. Not hitting as well overall, but still on pace for a pretty good year. Braden Shoemake, he's been very limited time this year. Mostly at, playing a little bit of all that around the infield. Like I mentioned, he's playing once a week at short for Correa. And got a couple starts when Palencia was down. But, yeah, his bat's come alive this year. I don't know if it's sustainable, but, the BABIP is insanely low. So, I don't know. He's just had a lot of home runs, basically, for Braden Shoemake's caliber of player. David Calabrese is an interesting story. So, I wonder if I can go to his splits. Yeah, so April he was absolutely like raking, a 168 WRC plus, and May he was also good, and then June he's kind of really come back down to earth. So, yeah, he had a really good start and kind of tailed off, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with him because he's gonna make 4.4 mil. I've got some outfielders, and he could be a trade candidate at some point. Then Jose Trevino, something happened with his defense. He's not really a good defender anymore. His ability did go down, and he's been okay, but not the guy we kind of signed up for. And our backup pitcher, Lamar King, I kind of thought he'd break out and he'd kind of take that catching role from Trevino this year, but he's been equally as bad with the bat, maybe even worse. So not great there. Rolavera, who I want to keep on the roster because he might be my second baseman next year, or third baseman if Brooks Lee does wind up leaving. He's got limited playing time, but he's been okay. And then Byron Buxton has been pretty bad disappointment. I gave him a pretty sizable contract extension just to keep him around in the Twins uniform, and he got off to a horrible, miserable start, and has turned it up a little bit, but still a negative WAR player. Not really playing a lot of center for me anymore, but sentimental stuff. He's in the lineup, batting seventh, and then moves up to sixth. But that's the team at this point. I guess we're checking our top prospects. This guy Ben Gismondi. We took him in the 7th round of the 2027 draft, and I think something happened with his. Yeah, so he was kind of like a nothing pitcher. I got him about this point, 45 potential guy, and then, our something with our magic pitching coaches made this guy into like a really top end prospect here. So pretty cool stuff there. And then Harrison Sawden, who we signed for that big bonus back in 2026, I believe. 2027, right at the beginning of the year. He's finally hitting, so that's good. I didn't break him as I do a lot of my international prospects, it seems. But he might get a call up to A-ball at some point in the next couple weeks. And then this guy, I don't know if I mentioned this. I signed this guy, $1.7 million, Alvarado Estrada, and is pitching down in AAA for me. But yeah, he's been really no good. And then our first round pick, Glazebrook, got some time in rookie ball last year, playing there again. I'm checking in on him. And then Eric Watson, who we took a couple years ago with our first round pick, another one of these high school arms. He's been good. I might call him up to A-ball in the coming weeks as well. Eric Watson, who we took with our first round pick, what is that, 4 years ago now? Similar. Oh wait, this is I'm an idiot. Amari Brazen, I meant this pick. We took him with our supplemental pick that we got for Jansen or Duran last year, and he's pitched really well in rookie ball as well. Jack Ruckert, who we took with a 35th pick in the 2028 draft, and he's been really good. I pushed him up to high A, and I'm actually gonna call him up. He could actually make the majors this year. That's how far along he is. Trying him out in the outfield right now, and I'm actually going to put him in left to get him a little work there. Kind of a utility guy. I like bringing these guys up in that role. Jesus Bonilla, the guy, this is a scout and discovery. And then, like some other guys here. Luis Medina is an interesting one, so I'm actually going to change him back to a reliever. So I signed him, when was this? 2025 for $2 million. Was a top 100 prospect for a while, and just could not get out of rookie ball here. And was just like miserable, walking 10 guys, striking out 10 guys, but miserable. So I moved him to the pen, and is finally a good player. In A-ball, he made it all the way up to high A at the end of last year, and I tried to transition back to a starter, and mixed results here, but just an interesting story about an international guy that he's coming along, but it's just taken a while. There's been some growing pains. This guy's interesting, Ben Hoffman. Really like his bat. Kind of flown through the minor league system for me, and up to AAA right now, and kind of struggling, but this bat will definitely play. So we got some catchers coming up, even if we do lose Trevino at the end of the year, which it looks like we probably will. Yeah, I'm not paying that for a 36-year-old catcher. But anyway, we'll end this segment here and get back to you guys probably, All-Star break, trade deadline area, and go over the draft and that stuff. So we'll be back. All right, so quick little update here. I know I mentioned the DiMartini extension thing, and I pulled it off. So um, doesn't it wasn't actually as brutal as I thought it was going to be. So I wound up offering him this, which is 10 years, 373 million. Massive number, 37 million average value there. But we get him for 14 next year. His first year arbitration, and then 30 mil for his second year, and then 35 for his final year arbitration. Then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 of his free agent years. Or we get 3 years and he opts out at age 32. Who knows? He might not. We'd have to see if we get that to that point in the series. But so yeah, we lock up DiMartini, and we have DiMartini and Palencia are two like OG prospects. We get these guys around for the long run, and kind of Correa and Buxton will pass the torch to these guys, and they'll kind of take over as our big money guys. Would also love to see if I can get Yasser Mercedes at some point, but it's a little farther down the road. These are like my 3 core guys, I think, going forward. Like Derek Mitchell could be there at some point, but this might not age as well. But Valencia and DiMartini, these guys are like generational players, so lock them up. Maybe Yasser Mercedes, Manuel Rodriguez might be playing his way there, but I don't know. He's kind of replaceable. But yeah, there you go. I'm just wanting to update on that extension. We are back, and where I last left off, I believe, was we signed DiMartini to that extension. Sorry, it's a couple days later since I did this, so trying to recap myself here. So we gave him that, whatever. Not whatever, but, pretty big. But anyway, we're at the trade deadline here, and I think I'm going to stand pat. Again, this has happened like 3 years in a row where I just don't know where I can improve this team at this point. Like, we kind of have studs at every position. One thing that I guess happened was Manuel Rodriguez went down 3 to 4 weeks with a, like a moderate running hamstring strain. So I'm keeping him on the active roster for now. That means he's going to DH. Buxton's going to be pushed to the outfield for, like the first meaningful time in the season. And he's going to play some left field, which hopefully will help him not get injured. But, I'm not going to bet all my money on that. Also, I'm going to start playing Derek Mitchell a little bit more. Calabrese, really has cooled off a bit, and I want to get him out there. So he's playing all the time against lefties, righties. He'll play every fourth. And Buxton has been a little bit better than he was at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I just wanted to update that we will not be making any big trades. I guess one move that we did do was we called up the number 22 prospect in baseball, Ben Gismondi, who could potentially be a stud starter maybe, but I don't like that he doesn't have a horizontal moving pitch. He's a deadly changeup, wipeout splitter, I guess. Pretty good splitter. But a fastball changeup mostly, and he's been good since he's been up. Yeah, I don't know what his future holds, but I was just watching one of the old videos, and I took this guy in the 7th round, which is pretty crazy. I actually mentioned it in the video as like a guy, he could be like a decent player, but he's been way more than that. I probably drafted him down, somewhere around here where he was 45 potential, and then he's just kind of blown up in the minors since. So really cool stuff there. Another, I've had better luck developing pitchers in this save than I normally have. I guess a lot of these guys were kind of, like Colwer, I remember he was not, where the heck? So yeah, I took him with the 33rd pick, and he was pretty developed. Same story with Mike Wolf. I think I might have taken him 2nd round, but he was one of those guys who my scout loved. And these guys have been great for me. Cole Henry I got in trade. Grayson Rodriguez free agent signing. Nola trade. So maybe I haven't been that good at developing pitchers, but I mean, most of my bullpen I think is
That's actually not even true. I thought most of them were homegrown. I guess a couple of them are, but I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, let's sim past the trade deadline here. Unless I don't know. I don't know what to improve here. My bench is, I'm gonna roll with Vera and Shoemake on the bench. King, I really hope he can hit a little bit more because he should be able to be a good hitter. I don't know what the problem is here. Trevino's been good enough defensively, I guess, but even that's a little shaky. But I've invested so much in catcher over the years that we got like this guy Gra Grahovic, who's ready to come up. We got Helfrich, who's also like a pretty decent prospect. Then Ethan Anderson's more of a defensive guy. But then we have like Ben Hoffman, who's could be a pretty good hitter. I did send him down to Double A. He struggled mightily in Triple A. Um, but anyway, I have a ton of catchers coming up, so it's not like we really need a long term replacement there. Good defender here. Yeah, I've kind of dumped a lot into catcher. Also, Harrison Sawden, our number 27 prospect in baseball. He was good in rookie ball, so I called him up to A ball and struggled a little bit, but a low BABIP. Maybe that's the reason why. But anyway, I guess that was an all-encompassing tangent that kind of led nowhere. So we will sim through the deadline here. Let's do it. I don't really need to do deadline day, I don't think. I guess I could check out the proposal. All right, so they want to give me Garrett Whitlock. Pretty nice pitcher. I've actually had a couple offers for him. Having a really good year for Mike Clark, and Mike Clark for Brooks Lee. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably won't. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. I thought I extended him. I haven't played this in a couple of days. Yeah, he's the one a crazy deal. I actually was able to offer him this one. 4 years, about 96 million, I think that comes out to, with a ton of opt outs. I'm still considering if I'm going to do it. We kind of have a lot of money wrapped up, and I don't want to get screwed. As you could tell, I'm not really trigger happy with these like long term extensions and stuff. Kind of only to like the studs with like Palencia and DiMartini, but I do want to save some money with like giving Mercedes eventually an extension. And I mean, Brooks Lee is a really nice player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if we can. I don't know. It's gonna suck letting him go, but I don't know. Maybe we'll revisit in the offseason, see what we can do. But I'm gonna reject that because yeah, it's Brooks Lee. Okay, so we wound up losing both in this doubleheader. The offense puts up a pitiful 4 runs in the series. Nola's good, and Mike Wolf was good too, but Carson Coleman continues to be a little mediocre. Okay, so anyway, let's move ahead and through the line. And boom. So let's check out this really quick. Some development updates. This is interesting. This guy's a pretty nice arm. I got him in a minor league deal, and he's been pretty good in AAA and AA this year. I want to eventually get Chase Davis up here because he's been in AAA the last 3 years and it's just raked, and I have no spot for him, which it sucks to have this like I don't know embarrassment of riches. Owen Peno, who was a second round pick in 2024, finally looking ready. He could be a second base replacement next year or third base guy, kind of taking over the Brooks Lee role. Also Jack Ruckert, another guy who's like he's more of a second base, third. I guess he could play third, but maybe a utility guy. He's also probably ready for the majors. So I have those two guys, which is a reason why I'm not going to extend Brooks Lee most likely. Also Brandon Windcore, a nice player down in Double A. I'm getting these guys some work in the outfield just because you never know who's going to get hurt and who I'm going to have to call up to have these guys play. Another catcher down here. Looks like he had a nice improvement. Tim Brandt, who was a first round pick. No, not first round. Second round pick in 2027. Having a nice year between A and high A. Just got called up and hitting well. Justin Best, this is an interesting story. So we took him in the 2023 draft, our first draft, with the 34th overall pick, and I thought he was gonna fizzle out. His ratings dropped from having an 80 potential contact to an 55, and I just didn't think he was gonna be that player anymore. But he's made it up to Double A at this point. He's 24 years old. I think we drafted him when he was 18, maybe 19, and he actually doesn't look bad. So we could possibly salvage this pick at some point in the near future. So I love that. I've kind of not. I mean, besides, you know what? Take a little detour in this episode and kind of go through my draft history here because this kind of has me interested. So, Chase Dollander, that was a huge miss. Whatever. He's actually pitching well in AAA right now, but his ratings aren't even horrible, and he was way worse at one point. Like last year, he was so bad in AAA, but this year he's been. I might call him up just for the sake of saying that he got to the majors. Make me not feel as bad. We went over Justin Best. Windcore, we also went over. He's going to make the majors at some point, I assume. Teddy McGraw's already been up a ton over the last 2 seasons, and, he was really good pitching this year for me. Kevin Sim, another guy who's been up and down over the past couple of years. Hasn't made it up to the majors this year, but he could at some point. Cody Schreier. Wow. Okay, so yeah, we kind of nailed these picks, man. This is, Dollander was our worst pick out of our first 5 rounds. And yeah, Cody Schreier's been great for us. Well, not great, but, he's been good for a 5th round pick. Luca Reyes is still with us. Just got called up to AAA, so that's cool. Any other notable names here? Rate's still with us. He's in AA. Eric Becker somehow hanging around. Probably should release him, but he's a good leader, so I guess that's why I kept him. It's good to have those guys on the bench. Lane Forsythe didn't make it. Coleman Mizell in AA hitting well, so this draft looks pretty damn solid. Corey Collins I had high hopes for, but he never made it. He fizzled out in AAA. Yeah, he was with me this year. This year was his best year in AA, the 22-year-old. Started him in AAA the next year, and I really had high hopes for him, but, he was never able to really conquer that level, and his ratings aren't horrible, but, yeah, couldn't really do much. Then we took Derek Mitchell in the 13th round. Pretty wild on that one. That was a good pick, obviously. And then Hunter Haas is still with us in AA. Middle infield depth. So yeah, I guess that's all that's worth talking about. Next year we took DeMartini, 1st round, 17th pick. That worked out fantastic. Owen Pena we took in the 2nd round, another good pick. Drew Bowser, he almost made the majors, but he didn't quite get there. We released him earlier this year. And then Josh Springer, a catching prospect, still hanging around in our system. Had a good year in rookie ball as a 22-year-old last year. Maverick Rizzi, who is actually hovered around our top. He's been in our top 30 prospects for a while, and made the move to the bullpen. And he could possibly make an impact on the major league roster at some point. Joey Oki, 6th round pick, not horrible here. Halstead, any other? This guy Brady Schramm is. I think I don't know. So he's very highly valued on my team. Chase Davis we took in the 10th round. Riley Johnson was recently released. I remember. Carlos Pena, another guy who's in AAA. The next year, 2025, we took Zach Cowher with our first pick. That was good. Pico Khan, who is in AAA, not a bad pitcher at all. He could, make his way up to the team at some point. Vaughn Necker, I had high hopes for, but he's down in A ball still. He could make it, but not looking great at this point. Any other notable names? This guy John Lash looks pretty damn solid. Is a fastball, curveball, changeup guy. He's down in AAA. I almost called him up, but I picked another guy, what the hell is his name? Gismondi. I picked him over him. So he was a 9th round pick. Not bad there. Any other notable names that I can see? Not really. 2026, I can tell doesn't look great at the moment, but could possibly work out. Eric Watson was my first round pick. His ratings haven't really dropped too much. He's still a 60 potential guy. He finally made it up to A ball this year and pitching okay, I guess. Um, that's good. Heider Helfrich, we took with our second pick in the second round. He's made it up to AAA. He's hitting well and probably knocking on the door of the majors. Kevin Bryan, a center fielder. He's down in high A at the moment. Oh, goodness. Okay. Ben Hoffman we took in the fourth round, and that looks pretty good. He's raking Double A at the moment. This guy, Nate, he's down in, I called him up to AAA. He wasn't really hitting, so I sent him down back to Double A. And we'll see if he makes it, but either way, not a horrible pick. And then another catcher we took this year in the sixth round. So we took 3 catchers in the first 6 rounds, and they're all looking pretty decent. Steve Driver, this guy's made it up to AAA at this point, and raking pretty well up here. So that's really cool to see. Let's see, anyone else that's notable? Zach Wattis, he's down in AAA, and he's hit well the last couple of years down there. Another guy who can potentially make it up to the majors at some point. Let's go to 2027. Kevin Hood, still down in rookie ball. I'm hoping he takes the leap. I'm not betting on it, but I'm not counting him out yet. Tim Brandt, we kind of talked about him. He's in high A at the moment. And then Dave Rutt down in rookie ball still. A lot of these guys are, still down in the lower minors. Terrell Barzy, doing all right in high A, so that's good. Josh Dion's up in Double A. He's played pretty well, making his way through the minors. Gismondi, we talked about him in the 7th. And then I might be missing someone, but I don't see anything else. In 2028, Glazebrook looks like he went down with a torn flexor tendon. I didn't even see that. And that sucks, but he can come back and be a decent arm. We took him with one of our 3 first-round picks. Jack Ruckert was the other one. He's going to be a stud, hopefully. And then Amari Brazen, who is in A-ball at the moment. He got the call up there, so we'll see with them. Mike Wolf in the second round. He's already making a case to be the best player we've ever drafted. Then nothing really else too crazy. Okay, then we get to this year. So Josh Price was our first pick. College bat, not really that well developed at this point, but probably a corner outfield, can play a little center. And we'll see with him. He's 22, but kind of struggling down in rookie ball. It's not a great sign. We took Zach Youngren, who's a good defensive and hitting catcher. Looks like he's down with a hip strain. We took David Valadares in the 3rd round. High school arm Jerry Patton, just throwing darts at these guys. Josh Moreau in the 5th. Mike Jager in the 6th. Ken Beck in the 7th round, a high school reliever. I guess this guy's interesting. Johnny Barth, our 8th round pick, and then, dart throws at that point. So there you go. That'll end the episode. We'll cap off at the trade deadline and, that little prospect overview. If you care about that part, I put at the end of the episode, I guess. So you can kind of, if you don't want to watch that, you don't care. So you can just skip it. So thank you for watching. And that is episode 16, maybe 17, 16 of the Twins Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time with second half of the year and playoffs probably. So, we'll get into that, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.